Several companies who have pushed to enforce new codes of conduct or old codes of conduct are now being called racist. Why is that? Many black people have responded to these new enforcements as if they're directed towards black people. The question is, why would they assume that these things are aimed at black people in the first place? Unless you automatically assume that you are going to be loud, obnoxious, a lowered standard of dressing, missing portions of clothing in areas that would be more revealing, smelling like marijuana, having to have a baseball hat on if you don't own a dress jacket. Are these things that black people don't have access to? I mean, it's news to me. I have plenty of jackets. I got like over a dozen jackets that I can put on if I wanted to go to a restaurant. In fact, I've been to nice fancy restaurants before. The first time I went to, it was like a 5-star, $300 per meal restaurant. They had a dress code, meaning that you had to wear a dress jacket. That's just par for the course. I wasn't surprised by it, nor did I think that it was racist if they had that policy. What is that saying about black people when you say something like that? That having a policy of having a jacket is racist. Having a policy of no gym wear is racist. Really? Like black people can't get regular, khakis and a polo, or not smelling like weed is racist. Like, what does this say about black folks when you're saying that these things are racist? You got to start thinking about what you're saying. These things are making us look even worse than we already do. And mind you, a lot of the reason now people are speculating, now we can't say for certain, but people are speculating that it is because of the actions of some black people that these policies are being enforced now. And that could be very well correct based on multiple viral videos that we've seen on United Airlines.
So when I landed, I'm just playing some music, you know what I'm saying? And the attendant came by, she's like, yo, turn your music off. I'm like, no. So she's like, okay, whatever. She goes in the back, like 5-6 minutes later, like 2 officers come back. You know what I'm saying? Come back to the to where I was at. And they're like, come with me, whatever. I'm not really tripping. I'm still playing my music. You know what I'm saying? I'm laughing. I'm really laughing at the whole thing because she's really hating on me. I don't know why. Rusty ass bitch called the police for playing music. She rusty. She dirty. Look at her.
Go ahead. It's still FBI matter, even though the plane's still taxiing and landed and stuff. As long as the seatbelt sign is on and the door is closed.
She's rusty. She's dirty. That's why she's just hating on me. You know what I'm saying?
At Ruth's Chris.
Somebody break it up.
This is sad, y'all. My sister Circle and I were out celebrating our Friendsgiving. We arrived at the restaurant. Shortly after arriving, we only had time to give drink orders. We didn't even get our drinks. And a physical altercation happened between 2 African-American women. We did not know them. We were not affiliated with them. They were at another table. They began to fight. The situation was diffused by management and other staff members. The management came over to our table and told us that they would not be servicing us tonight. We had to leave. I questioned, are you shutting the entire restaurant down for tonight? No, we're just not servicing you all because y'all like to fight.
On Carnival Cruises.
This is what happened. Police say this dance floor fight started between 2 people, then others quickly joined in. By the time the brawl was broken up, anywhere from 40 to 60 people were involved in this brawl. Passengers who witnessed the fight say it started over cheating allegations. It happened just before 5:30 Tuesday morning on the final night of the ship's 8-day cruise. Passengers punched and shoved each other while an outnumbered ship security guard tried to break it all up. Cruise officials called the U.S. Coast Guard for an escort back to the dock, and New York police and paramedics were there when the ship arrived. And Mitch, surprisingly, no one was arrested after that brawl.
No one was arrested?
International waters.
None of them.
Basically, what we're seeing is a lot of viral videos where black people are acting a damn fool in public. And now all these companies are wanting to get rid of the foolish behavior within their establishments, which makes sense. I wouldn't want these Negroes in my establishment either, or anybody else of any race who acts this way. So I don't understand why this is seemingly racist. It's not racist. It's smart business. If you see the stats are going down right now, you're seeing a plummet. As Steven Crowder points out, there's the customer service ratings are plummeting at nice establishments.
Customer satisfaction has been going down for years. It's currently at a 10-year low, and you can only blame COVID for so long.
Meaning that customers are, and one of their main complaints is about the other people that are in the restaurants, that are on the airlines, that are on the cruise lines. If you are one of the people that other people are complaining about, then you're the problem. The company's not the problem. And the only thing that they're doing is protecting their investment. They're protecting their company. They need to eliminate those types of guests to make everybody else comfortable. That's the way things go. It's not all about you. So what's been the response from some of these companies? For Ruth Chris, it's been to establish or enforce old things that they already had on the books. They already had all of these policies on the books already. They just weren't enforcing them.
Telling visitors to kindly remove all hats or dine in the bar lounge. The policy reminiscent of a certain mob boss.
Take your hat off.
Excuse me?
They don't sell hot dogs here.
But experts say the effort to class up the joint is nothing new.
If you are looking to project an image as an establishment that is all about fine dining, and scattered throughout the restaurant are people who look like they just came from the gym, it's going to detract from that image.
One recent survey found diners want elevated and even Instagrammable outings, with 74% of consumers saying they have or plan to return to restaurants with a unique experience.
So they're going to start enforcing no hats. Business casual attire is expected. That means no gym wear, again, no hats, no tank tops, no skin tight outfits from ladies.
So I'm at Ruth Chris and Carmel. This is my outfit. So why did the only black bartender try to tell me not to I can't take my jacket off because of the dress code, and that he has to think about the other guests, because there was some white people sitting at the bar. Tell me what's wrong with this, please.
No t-shirts with crazy logos or things that might offend people, slogans that might offend people on them. You might not even be able to wear a Trump shirt. It's not just geared towards black folks. Then you have United Airlines. They're simply going to enforce wearing headphones. I mean, this should go without saying. Apparently, people were getting on these airlines with speakers playing their music. They're going to be banning video calls. And they will eliminate you from the flight if you're playing offensive material that is audible. Whether you're watching something, you're listening to something, if it is offensive, they can toss you right off the flight now. And they will not be providing you with free headphones. So you got to bring your own. Carnival Cruise is the next one. So the first thing Carnival Cruise is looking to do is to enforce a curfew for kids under 17 or under, right? So you can't be out of your room after 1 a.m. if you're not accompanied by an adult. They're also enforcing a $500 penalty for running or yelling in the halls or anywhere on the ship that you're just not supposed to be loud. And they can remove you. So you might get fined, but you also could be removed. I don't know how they're going to remove you on a ship while you're out at sea, but I wouldn't want to be removed while we're in the middle of the ocean somewhere, for sure. They're now going to start enforcing a drug policy specifically geared towards marijuana. They're saying even if marijuana is legal in your state, they're not going to tolerate it on the cruise line. So you can't bring that stuff. They're going to actually be putting sniffing dogs on the boat And if you bring in marijuana with you, you again can be tossed off the off the ship in the middle of the water. I'm just gonna toss you up. Now they didn't say that, but you know, you get it. They're going to enforce this. I believe they have like lockups for people who are, you know, like police areas on these ships. I was on a cruise one time. I was wondering, what do they do with like somebody who's breaking the law on these ships? I'm sure there's like some kind of police area where people are taken, like a jail within the boat. You don't want to be there. So abide by the rules. Don't bring your drugs on the boat. Okay, so this is one that I heard some black folks were like, felt like it was directed towards them. Some kind of clacking fan. I don't know what fans make noise when you use them, but you can't bring these sorts of fans. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I kind of missed. I guess I'm just not black enough to know what these fans are. But somebody put in the comments what these fans are, because I have no clue. But they're prohibiting the noise making fans, and with that, they're also getting rid of any speakers. You're seeing this across. You saw this with the airline as well. No loud speakers. You can't play your music for everybody else to hear. And the last thing that was kind of just enforced was, and this is a little bit different, was a Chick-fil-A incident where people were doing this dance, and it was like titty dance.
Oh, you know you wanna mingle. This is so good, I should never be single. Oh, you know you wanna mingle. This is so good, I should never be single. He loved the way I throw it on the back hands down. Put it on and make her wanna wipe a bitch down. He loved the way I throw it on the back hands down. Put it on and make her wanna wipe a bitch down. He loved the way I throw it on the back, throw it on the back, throw it on the floor.
You're in Chick-fil-A, you're in your Chick-fil-A uniform, and you're doing this dance. You know Chick-fil-A is a Christian establishment. They're pretty by the book. They don't want any shenanigans. Even when you greet people, you can't use your own words. You got to use their greetings for people. You know, and when people leave, my pleasure, all that kind of stuff. You have to abide by those things, or you could be fired, apparently. So dancing, doing titty dances in the camera in Chick-fil-A, you know, what did you expect was going to happen? I would have fired you too, personally. You're diminishing the brand. Again, all of these things are about the brand, about the customer service. The reason why a Chick-fil-A is so successful compared to other fast food restaurants is because of the service that they provide. The reason I go to Chick-fil-A and I don't really go to any other fast food restaurant is because of the service. You know, they were the first one to have decent drive-thrus that were fast. They had like 4 people out there at a time, and they were outside rather than you know, ordering through that speaker, right? So they just made everything better. They figure out ways to make better service, to give better service, and they do so, and that's why people love Chick-fil-A. And the food is good as well, but you know, the main thing is the customer service, and they have to maintain that. Everybody is nice. They're expected to say and treat you a certain way, and they obviously expect that of their employees. I wish more restaurants were like Chick-fil-A. Like McDonald's, the people always are have a crappy attitude, and I don't like going there for that reason. I don't like to get treated poorly when I go to a business. This should go without saying. But when you're a customer and you're thinking that the customer is always right, or the customer can make demands of a company, you're wrong. That's not correct. Unfortunately, there's somebody who owns that company, and they run it the way they want, not the way you want. If you don't like it, you can go someplace else. You know, they still want good reviews, but they want to brand themselves a certain way. And that doesn't mean your way. It means their way, and hopefully that makes money. If it doesn't, then they have to make adjustments and they're trying to do something that the masses would gravitate to, not just some small niche group. Now, sometimes there's a business that's catering to a niche group, and that's fine if they can make money doing it that way. But in all of these businesses that we mentioned, they're going for the mass, a big, large group of people. They want the most amount of people to enjoy this thing. And they're not going to go to the niche group of hip hop culture people who want to smell like weed and be loud and obnoxious at these places. They're just not they're not catering to that group. You can open your own restaurant and do a niche restaurant and see how far you get catering to the hip hop crowd. I'd love to see that. But anyway, that's really all I wanted to show you guys, talk to you guys about. I'm out.
No more Yaza Baza.